got into coaching because of, how much fun a lot of the coaches had that I was always around. Coach King, Coach Young, my dad, Coach Goodson, my high school coaches, Coach Demi, Coach Daniel, every coach that I interacted with just seemed like they were having so much fun and having a blast. So I was like, all right, y'all, either y'all are just that crazy or something's going on that it really is that much fun. And that was what kind of piqued and sparked my interest with coaching, and then the opportunities that you're able to present young athletes, especially young Black males like myself, and these kind of opportunities, the opportunities you presented me, other coaches, see the world, see different places, learn different things, meet different people. I wanted to be able to give those opportunities out to young guys and kind of give back those same ways. So that's kind of what got me into coaching and got me rolling with that.
Hello, everyone. This is author Tim Brown, the book Uncommon Athletes. And I want to remind you all to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, which allow me to continue to broadcast these podcasts, YouTube about some uncommon athletes who are doing some great things. Today, I'm blessed to have with me a young man who I kind of have grown up with or known him since he was baby. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and I was blessed to be his fifth grade teacher. I was his best teacher, taught him everything he knew, And now he's currently assistant coach at Muskingum College and doing well there. He has a long history of coaching and at that level, been successful wherever he's gone, a successful player. And this is Coach Bryan Wickcliffe. So Bryan, welcome to the show.
How's it going? Glad to be here.
Everything's great, man. It's good to see you smiling, man. I know back in fifth grade, you were serious, Jack. Couldn't get a smile out you at all, man. It's all business. All business.
Hey,
all business,
I had to make
Jack.
sure the grades was right, Coach.
Right.
That stuff was hard for me, man. That stuff was hard for me. It didn't come easy.
That's funny, man. Speaking of that, is growing up, when did you fall in love with basketball? Was basketball your first sport, your only sport? When did you really fall in love with basketball?
All right, so basketball was not my first sport. My first sport I started playing was t-ball. I started playing that in kindergarten, and then the second sport I started playing was soccer. So those are the first two sports that I kind of got really introduced into with, competition and playing sports and team aspect and all of that good stuff. Basketball, I kind of fell in love with that when I went to Sonshine Christian Academy. Went out on the playground. One of the kids was playing basketball, said, "You're tall, here, you should play with us." And then from there on, that was all she wrote. I was in love with that from then on, and just really enjoyed playing it. Not for anything in particular, but just because I thought it was a fun sport. And so that was where it took off out on the playground, and then kind of built from there. Every day it was like, all right, well, I want to kind of get a little better at this. These guys are really good. What are they doing?
Right.
And just trying to learn from them and figure it out from there. So it was about kindergarten.
Yeah, wow. You were
a
playground legend, huh?
I wouldn't say a legend to begin with. Far from a legend to begin with, but
your family is really close. I know you're the oldest son. You have a younger brother, older sister. Can you talk about how important family support is?
Family is huge for me. It's like a big support system. Growing up, everybody had their own little niche, what sport they played, what they wanted to do. And we supported each other. Like if it was basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever it is, my sister's in the field, like at the field watching, or playing, whatever. When she did her thing, was her older sister, Sherry, she is in the arts, theater, as we were growing up. So I was in the stands watching her at her musicals, at her music events, whatever it was. And then little brother kind of got into sports as well. Did basketball, soccer, then kind of took football over, and that was his thing. So in the stands watching the football, and it was like just support, whatever they need, just showing them love, because everybody's not going to be on your team, and having that circle of support and that kind of, not blocker from the negativity, because you need somebody to tell you when you're messing up or when you're not doing right or what you can work on in a constructive way, like not people just kind of being negative and trying to have that hate against you. Just somebody who actually wants to see you be better and grow, and having that support system. Mom and dad were the same way. It wasn't always, hey, you're the best player out there. It was, all right, what can you do to go earn your spot on the court or earn your spot on the team. Like, it was never, just because you're on the team, you should be playing. It was, if you wanted more playing time, let's go to the backyard. Let's kick some soccer balls. Let's throw some baseballs. Let's catch some footballs. If you want more playing time, let's go to the basketball court. Let's get some shots up. That kind of constructive criticism of outworking your opponent, outworking your teammate to get that opportunity, not just expecting because you're on the team to have an automatic opportunity to play. And that's kind of carried me throughout life, outworking my opponent, outworking other coaches, outworking coaches on the staff, just to set that standard that the work ethic is going to carry you through. That work ethic is going to what you're going to rely on when times get heavy. When you're in the heat of a battle in a game and you're trying to draw or think of a play, that work ethic of watching every film, watching every clip, and understanding, what the other coach is thinking just because you've watched so much film. Or when you're hooping and you've been in the gym and you got so many shots up, when that opportunity to get that shot comes, it's not a second thought of whether I should take it or not. It's because you've been in the gym all the time, shooting that with confidence, or making that catch on the football field or the baseball field, making that kick on the soccer field, whatever sport you play, putting all that work in will allow you not to think about the moment because you've already lived that moment in the gym by yourself when nobody's in there. And that's the kind of work ethic and support that I got from my parents, my brother, my sister, grandparents. It was never, nothing's going to be handed to you. You got to go out there and take it. And the way you take it is by outworking everybody else. And mixed in with a little bit of talent that I had. So that didn't help. That didn't hurt either. So it didn't hurt at all.
You attended on the elementary through middle at Sonshine Christian Academy. Can you talk about how important that faith foundation is in your life and how important that was for you growing up and even today?
Yep. It was huge. It set the standard for, that support system outside of your parents and someone to go to in God when your parents aren't around and you just need some, or that support system isn't around and you needed someone to talk to. God was a big piece for me, and having my faith was a big piece for me as well. And that standard was set at Sonshine. We had chapel on Fridays. All the teachers were faith-based, so they talked about their faith, instilled a lot of their principles and faith in you. And a lot of things academically always circle back to faith and relying on your faith and having that as a support system as well, and another means and source to kind of continue to push forward. In sports and in coaching, especially, faith is a big piece. You do all this work, you put in all this effort, and you're not always sure if the results are going to come, like when the results are going to come. All you do is you have faith that you're going to continue to work hard, and that hard work that you put in and that effort that you put into a player, the effort you put into your game and whatever sport you play, you're going to see the results. And a lot of that came from the faith that I had with God and with my religion, and being able to take that. And that standard foundation was set at Sonshine Christian Academy. Again, that faith base was part of that. That experience was huge for me moving forward in life, because I always fall back on a lot of the lessons I learned at Sonshine Christian Academy, whether it was work ethic, whether it was how to treat people and treat people the way, God would treat people, and not how, somebody else treats you. That's a big standard for me. And just coming in with a smile wherever I go and trying to improve somebody's day, because, that's what God and Jesus was about. So that's how that standard was set with my parents, my family, and then continued to be set and held with Sonshine instilled in me. And it's carried me out throughout life thus far. So it's done a good job for me.
Oh yeah. Good stuff. How about your basketball career? I know you left middle school to high school. How did your career take off? What was that turning moment in your career? You realized, hey, I could really play this game.
All right, so I'll take it back. From the beginning. So second grade, like I said, I was at Sonshine, wanted to get a little better. You came through with Take ABC. So Take ABC was a big thing for me. That kind of gave me the standard, set the standard. For those who don't know, I hope everybody knows about the Take ABC. A lot of them do. Was a basketball clinic where every Saturday, Friday, there would be like some sort of basketball for 2-3 hours, where you got fundamentals, learn how to shoot, dribble, skills, gym full of kids. Then it expanded to a league. So by second grade, that was my first introduction to competitive basketball. And I'll tell you, my parents said I was terrible. I try to block that out, try to block those days out, when we were terrible at the sport. But it was rough, just trying to grab a rebound was all I was trying to do out there. Was not trying to dribble past it to the guys who could. But because I wanted to do those things, it was like, Dad, what can I do to get better? I was like, we don't have a hoop, so I can't shoot. So he's like, you can still go in the garage, dribble, work on your ball handling. When you shoot, when you find a hoop, you can go shoot. But there's always something you can work on your game when you have the ball. So once I got a ball, and Take ABC gave you a ball, so I had the ball, so I go in the garage. Dad was like, you turn the lights out, try to handle the ball in the dark. So I'm out in the garage trying to dribble a basketball in the dark, doing different stuff like that. It's funny that you asked when it kind of learned. Like, it was fifth grade, or not fifth grade, third grade. We had a little tournament at Sonshine in the third grade. Just our class. Ms. Walker put it together, and my team actually won it. And I was like, oh man, I'm getting pretty good at this game. And then in the fifth grade, you were kind of we was in class, and you were naming off, guys, what they could do, what they were really good at. And I'm sitting in there just, serious, listening to you. And you said, oh yeah, I think Bryan's probably got the best overall basketball game. And I looked around, I was like, you talking about me? I'm the best overall player. Like, I can do a little bit of everything. So it's kind of that like sparked it, like, okay, maybe I am pretty good at this. And that's when it really took off. Like, all right, let's see how good I can get.
Bryan, sound like you really fell in love with the game, young age, got the middle school, and then sounds like your talents were starting to really blossom. Talk about that, a lot of guys play AAU basketball in summer and all. Like, talk about your experience with that and how that helped you prepare you for high school and for the next level.
Yeah. So mine started again with Take ABC, put like a little all-star team together. I played with some really good guys at the time. They was really good, but didn't know how good. Like, a lot of them were going to be. A couple of guys from around the Columbus area that were really good at that time. Evan Washington was one of a guy I played with. Played over at Air Force for a while. Coached there for a while. Was a name like you mentioned earlier when we were talking behind the scenes. Maurice, he's a good player I played with. Kenny Goodson, Timmy Russell, AJ Davis. Played with AJ and travel ball. So those guys were like standard, and they were better than me. So I was always trying to get as good as those guys, if not better. And that kind of was the eye opener. Like, okay, it's a little more than just the playground out here. It's a little more than just take ABC. Like, I still got to improve my game. I still got to get better because there's other kids out there that are doing that. And one of the things that my dad was always talking about is, if you're not working, somebody else is. If you're not out in the gym, if you're not on the playground, if you're not outside getting shots up, putting work into your game, somebody else is, and somebody else is out working you. So that was one of the big things that always ate at me in the back of my mind. Like, all right, I'm not getting shots up. Somebody else is getting shots up. I got to go outside, get them up. And travel basketball kind of helped continue to drive that by seeing a different type of player. A lot of my coaches were big influences on that. Al Young, my dad were the first two AAU coaches. Coach Young, if you ever met him, fiery guy, like he gets after it on the sideline. So that was my first experience of a different kind of coach and different coaching, and getting somebody who, coaches real fiery and is super intense, but it's because he loves the game and loves, wants to see his players be really well. So adjusting to that type of coaching was good for me at a young age, because moving forward, there was no coach that I saw that I couldn't, handle and, decipher the difference between, coaching and him yelling at me.
All those, the AAU experience, the high school experience, now you take those skills to the collegiate level and you talked a lot about that standard of success, having that high standard of success. And you go to college at Wooster, you come in as a 4-year starter. You were blessed that your team made it to the Sweet 16 and then was national runner-up one year. Talk about that college experience.
College was great. College was a good time. It's like you said, that standard of how can I get on the basketball court? What do I have to do to play? What do I have to do to earn my minutes is what got me opportunity to play as a freshman. One of the big things that was an adjustment. My first 2 weeks of practice, I never finished practice because I cramped at the same time, like just because of how physically demanding it was. Mm-hmm. Like that standard was new. Like it wasn't new, but I played so hard that it pushed me to a new level. And so that was a big adjustment. That the physicality, the the level of intensity you had to play at, not only in games, but in practice. Like every practice was like a battle. Every practice was a game, especially if you were an unproven freshman like me or an unproven player. Like you're out there trying to earn your minutes, earn your opportunity to play for a really prestigious program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the year before they went to the Final Four. So, and they only lost to Pete. So I'm trying to figure out where I can slide in, if I can slide in at all. And you have to go out and battle for those minutes. You have to go out and earn that opportunity. And that's one of the first experience and adversity level of adversity that hit. And one thing that I will say, if there's any young guys listening, players, you know, listen to the coaches. They're not trying to tell you to do something that's wrong. You know, if you listen to what they're telling you to do and you do it at a high level, you usually get an opportunity to play or get something done for the team, for the program, if you're able to help them. So junior year, you know, we take off. We're doing well. We're playing some good teams. We're winning some games. We're beating some people. We get to the Sweet 16. So we lose the game. We're all pissed. Me and my one of my underclass or sophomore at the time, sophomore teammate, one of my really close buddies. We get on the bus and we immediately look at each other. We're like, we're staying over the summer. We're getting jobs here over the summer, and we're not letting this happen ever again. We're getting to the Final Four next year. We're getting to the national championship. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like it starts right now. And that was the mindset that we had as a pro. Like we led and pushed that mindset from the loss at the Sweet 16 until we got to the national championship the next year. That was the standard. When we're in the gym, I'm looking at guys, hey, Final Four, but like, hey, Final Four, that's it, nothing less. Final Four, national championship, nothing less, nothing less. So that was the theme in the fall. So right, we're working hard, we're doing those things, and then season starts, practice starts again. Final Four standard, nothing less. Final Four standard. We're working for the Final Four. We're trying to beat team. I mean, we're trying to build something to get to the Final Four. So when we're beating teams or we're winning, it's not about, hey, y'all, good job, we won. It's all right. Is this the standard to get us to where we want to go? Right? Do we play well enough to win a national championship? Do we play well enough to win a Final Four game? And that was what drove us. It wasn't how many games we could win. It wasn't, you know, how many points an individual could score. You know, it was the common goal was, are we playing well enough to get to the Final Four? So we made a run. We ended up becoming the number one ranked team in the country for about 8 or 9 weeks. It was kind of funny because as soon as we got ranked number one, it was like a Tuesday. We played at Allegheny on a Wednesday and had to beat them on a last second shot to keep our ranking. So we were struggling with that. So towards the end of the year, we run into a stretch. We hadn't lost a game all year. It was February, this time in February, and we lost 2 out of 3 games, which was unheard of for us because we were undefeated. We hadn't lost any at all. We weren't limping into the conference tournament, but we weren't playing well either. Mm-hmm. And so we get to the first round, we play Allegheny, and they're beating us by maybe 8 or 9. And you know, some guys are getting nervous. And me and our best player, who's a 3-time All-American, we looked at each other and was like, all right, it's time to turn it up another level. Let's do this. Let's take it to the new level. And so we did. And again, you rely on that work ethic, you rely on your teammates' support system. And in those moments, you know, you don't make them too big. They're not too big for you. So just shooting shots, put them in a couple shots, got a couple stops. Next thing we know, we get the momentum, we turn it around. And that was kind of the catalyst for our run. You know, we go to the conference championship. We run away with that, play pretty well. And then we get into the national tournament and we make a pretty good run. We first weekend played well, didn't hit too much adversity. Second weekend played well. Then we played. We had Whitworth, the number one team in the country, come to town, and they're coming in. They're pissed because they're the number one team in the country. They're from the West Coast. They have to fly over to Midwest and Ohio, and they're like, "Why are we here?" Well, they had some really good dudes. A guy who transferred, who played for Whitworth, their point guard. But again, our focus wasn't, enjoying the experience. It was taking it in, but let's win a basketball game. Let's win 2 basketball games because that's what we came here to do. So we play Williams. Williams probably the second best team in the country. Tip off goes. They jump out to about they were whooping on us pretty good, Mr. Brown. They was doing us dirty. They was doing us dirty. It was looking pretty grim for a while, but the experiences we had the year before at Guilford, we didn't get rattled. We're like, all right, we've been in this situation before. A team jumps out on us, and we come back. And then next thing you know, it's a 2-point game. 2-point game. Our guy comes down. He gets a steal, lays it in. It's tied up. Our best player gets a cheap foul. Like they're like not calling any fouls all game. They call this when he fouls out. And so it's tie game. We need to go ahead bucket, get some buckets. Coach calls my number, throws it to me on the block. I go reverse, try to go for a reverse, open up, reverse, go down to the baseline, drive the baseline, go for a reverse layup and get fouled. So I got to knock down some free throws. And as you remember, free throws weren't always my strong suit growing up. But, working in the gym, man, living in the gym, getting better, knocked down the 2 free throws to take the lead. And then from there on, we didn't look back. So it was cool. Just, again, the adversity of getting to the Final Four, the adversity of my freshman year, sophomore year, just whole basketball career kind of came through at that moment of, you guys are down 18 with 6 minutes to go. A lot of the odds makers would say there's no chance that we win that game, but because we believed in each other and we just took it one possession at a time and kept trying to chip away at it, it turned out to be a successful game for us, and we ended up winning that.
What advice would you share with young coaches interested in coaching at that next level?
Yeah. My advice would be, it's hard and expected to be hard. There's adversity with it. Create relationships and networking is a big piece to it, but don't be too proud to do the little things, like whether it's going to sweep the floor, whether it's going to do the laundry, going to do the scouting, like when you don't want to do those things, because you earn the opportunity by how much you're willing to do. Right? If you're willing to do those things, okay, he's doing that job at a high level, I'll give him more. Okay, he's willing to do, the laundry, and he's willing to go sweep the court, and he's willing to go get the clock out, and he's willing to keep stats for practice. Okay, here, you're doing those things at a high level. You can take over the stats for during the game. Stat this. Now you do that at a high level. Okay, I'll give you this. So don't always, like, one of the things that I struggled with was going into it expecting it to be like, all right, you're going to ask me what play we should run or who's playing good or who should sub in and out, instead of saying, okay, like, start from the beginning. What can I do to help you? And so that's my biggest advice is don't be upset if you're not doing the things that you want to do right away. Work your tail off to get those opportunities. And then when they come, take advantage of them. Don't think the job is ever too small for you not to do it. And that was it, man. I got into coaching because of, how much fun a lot of the coaches had that I was always around. Coach King, Coach Young, my dad, Coach Goodson, my high school coaches, Coach Demick, Coach Daniel, every coach that I interacted with just seemed like they were having so much fun and having a blast. So I was like, all right, y'all, either y'all are just that crazy or something's going on that it really is that much fun. And that was what kind of piqued and sparked my interest with coaching. And then the opportunities that you're able to present young athletes, especially young Black males like myself, and these kind of opportunities you presented me, other coaches, see the world, see different places, learn different things, meet different people. I wanted to be able to give those opportunities out to young guys and kind of give back those same ways. So that's kind of what got me into coaching and got me rolling with that. And like I said, just do the little things, understand it's a grind and it's not going to happen all in one moment. So
that's a good word. Good word. The Bible says this: if you're faithful over few things, it'll make you ruler over many. So if you take care of those few things, then it'll make you ruler over many. Well, Bryan, it's been a pleasure for sure. Boy, I didn't know you could talk so much, brother.
I know, man. Coach, I'm
man.
telling you, man, it
Hold
changed
it all
up, man.
in, brother.
I changed up,
But it's good though. It's good to see the growth there. I appreciate that, man. I'm just excited for what God has for you. So I want to thank you for your time, and I want to remind our subscribers that if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. So Coach Wickcliffe, thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Mr. Brown.
All right. Take care, buddy.
You too.